Hi everyone, it's Anthony. As you can tell from the last month, it has been insane with the NaNoWriMo challenge. And first and foremost, I want to thank each and every single one of you for all the words of encouragement and support that I've gotten from you over the last month. I really appreciate it. You are amazing, and you are what made all of this happen. Now, with that said, last night I was typing away and I completed the challenge. I absolutely did. I ended up with 50,025 words. Only 25 above the goal, but I made it. I did the challenge, and it's all because of you guys, and I appreciate all the words of support and encouragement from you. I wouldn't have gotten through this without you. This has been an amazing journey, and yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And for a final hurrah, a final, this is exciting. I have videotaped for you and is ready to go a meeting that I had with Valerie Valdes. I filmed it earlier today, which, by the way, today, where I'm filming this, is Tuesday, the day after the NaNoWriMo challenge finished. This has been an amazing journey, and no, you can't read it yet. The story isn't done. I'm still thinking of writing like another 25,000 to 50,000 more words to complete the story, but those 50,000 within my novel, my beginner's novel, first draft of the beginner's novel, are done. And that is so amazing, and I am so happy with both myself, and I am happy with the support that I've gotten from it. And once again, it's all because of you. I appreciate all of you, and I hope that I get to hear your stories about the NaNoWriMo. I want you to come into the library. I want you to write down in the comments what you've gotten from this experience. Tell me what you've written. Tell me how far you got. Did you complete the challenge? And if you didn't, you know what? That's okay. That is absolutely okay, because you learned something about yourself in this experience, and that is amazing. Even if you got really far into it and didn't get that 50,000 last night, keep going. Keep your project going. Now, with that said, and my final thank you, here is my conversation with Valerie Valdes. I hope you enjoy it. Bye, everybody. I hope to see you soon. Hi, everyone. It's Anthony. Welcome back to our final NaNoWriMo challenge update of the year of 2020. Wow. Everybody, please welcome back author extraordinaire Valerie Valdes. Welcome back, Valerie.
Hello, it is good to be back.
Oh my goodness. We did it. We finally did it.
We made it. We got through November. The month is complete.
Oh, how did we do that?
Slow and steady, if you're me.
Very slow, and very steady.
Yes, but also very fast. It was over in an instant, even though every day sometimes felt like an eternity.
I know. I was just watching the progress line on the NaNoWriMo stats page, and I kept watching it go up, and I just felt like, when did I do all of that?
And you did it little by little. That's it. It's just one step at a time.
We absolutely did. Oh my goodness. How do you feel like your month went?
Yeah, so I tried to be very diligent about this, having done it for so many years now. This is my 17th NaNoWriMo. And so yeah, I know doing that math has been something, all right. But certainly over the years I've learned that for me personally, I'm not great at procrastinating and then catching up as some people are, because some people can definitely, do whatever their own pace is and then, pull it out at the last minute. Some folks like to write less during the week and then, more on the weekends, but I work best when I'm doing just a very kind of steady, hitting the minimum word count every day. And so that's what I tried to do, and that's what I managed. I got in some extra words as well every day, so that by the time we hit Thanksgiving, I only did one sprint that day and spent the rest of the day with my family. So that was nice.
That is nice. I did very much so the same thing. I couldn't like do more one day and then every day. I had to try and at least hit that word goal every day. And like you said on Thanksgiving, I woke up before anyone else in my house did just to type everything out and do that sprint and then just get on with the day by the time my fiance and her sister's alarm clocks went off. Oh boy, it was a lot, but it was very exciting every day. Like those every day that you hit that 1,667 words or even got a little bit above it was always nice. It was always satisfying.
Oh yeah, and I, as I said earlier, I am a fan of treats and rewards, and so every time that I hit my word count, I knew that I could go have maybe a hot chocolate or some
Mm.
cookies or something, just a little boost for myself, a little brain boost, and it was something to look forward to. So, and then now that this is over, I'm looking forward to finishing the novel that's actually not finished.
I know, right? My fiance actually started rewarding me when because I knew there were nights when I would just get so like down. I'm like, I don't know what to write tonight. And what she did was she works up in like the north part of Atlanta, and so there's the Buford Highway Farmers Market,
Mhm.
and she stopped by and pick up this Russian candy for me called Saphir, and it is just like these almost grainy, thick marshmallows. Every night after I would get one of those thick marshmallows, and she got me
Oh.
cranberry flavor, and I love
Oh,
it.
that's so good. I am a huge marshmallow fan, so that sounds amazing.
They are just wonderful. All right. So yeah, it was a very, very long month, very short month at the same time, and I felt very, very happy with it.
Mhm.
Um, can we just take a second to be excited about the fact that we wrote 50,000 words over the course of a month? It has taken a toll on me. I grew a beard in the last few days because of it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's the state of my house right now is not good. And so December, the first few days at the very least, are going to be me catching up on all the chores that I was definitely putting off over the course of the month or doing in a much more haphazard fashion than I might have otherwise. So there's definitely that to do. And I feel like it was hard over the course of the month to stay focused, just given the kind of world events that were going on, but also the family obligations that you have, work stuff that comes up. If you're in school, just all the school events and deadlines that you have to hit for that as well. But I mean, we did it and we're here. And for people who made the 50K, it's I always feel like some of the power of NaNoWriMo is that November is a hard month to write in.
It
And
is.
so, yeah, there's just a lot going on, just calendar wise, and in terms of a lot of usual, again, school, work, family, holiday stuff for us in the U.S. and a little bit less so in other places internationally, I think. But I always feel a lot like coming out of this, if I can do this in November, I can do it anytime because so many other months are not as hard as November to work in. And so there's a kind of empowerment that comes from it. It's like if I can manage it even in this really hard month, then I can do this.
I agree. It was very, very satisfying to be able to feel like I'm obligated to do other things besides writing
Mhm.
and still getting it all done.
Yep. Yep.
That
Yep.
that was very, very cool. I, yeah, I felt really, really excited about that. Like last night, I'm gonna be honest, I cheered a little bit, and my fiance was trying to go to sleep, and I would not let her. And it was
Something to celebrate with. Yeah, I was on the Discord with one of our panda partners, and we basically spent the whole night cheering people on, getting people across the finish line, and just celebrating, with others as well. So
it was an amazing experience, and I'm really thankful that you were able to really introduce me to this world. I really appreciate it.
yeah, happy to be here, and the good news is that we're here year round. And so if
Yeah,
you want to keep working on your novel, which we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but um, there are
Mhm.
options for you. But what would you say was your favorite part about working on this over the course of the month?
In the writing process, or like what I wrote
All
in,
of it, yeah.
oh goodness. I I was really excited that because I personally have the opportunity to work for the library. It was really nice to be able to put out updates that I was putting out every Monday, because that kept people kind of excited and pushing me forward. So a lot of the support that I was getting from a lot of people was very, very heartwarming. And that made me feel really good about myself and pushed me forward in this. And I felt really good as a writer.
Mhm.
And then, like, with what I was writing, I felt so good about the world that I was doing. And I was very, very proud of myself, and I was very, very excited because like I've told you before, I'm writing kind of a fantasy story that deals with Saint Nicholas and his origins of becoming Santa Claus as a vampire. The whole time I was under the impression I'm going to write this solely in Nicholas's perspective, but I lost steam about halfway through writing in his perspective, and I got the idea to start writing in another character's perspective, the character of I'm calling her Snow, but she's based off of a Russian folklore called the Snow Maiden.
Mhm.
And it was so exciting for me personally to be able to go back and forth between Nicholas and Snow's perspective and how they understand each other, because I'm writing characters who I've never focused on and learned about before. And now I'm really building more and more character from different perspectives. And that was really exciting and powerful for me to be able to write.
Mhm.
Um, what were you excited about when you were writing?
So for me, I'm working on the third book in my trilogy, and so it was an experience that sort of like yours and unlike yours, because I have characters that are recurring that I've been working with since 2014, and so I'm pretty familiar with them at this point. But it's always fun to find new places for them to go, new things for them to experience, new ways for them to kind of grow and change and undergo just self-reflection and things like that. But it's also fun to introduce new characters and have those characters do cool stuff and be explored and all that, and see how they interact with my pre-existing characters. And of course, it's always fun to send them again on just new adventures to new places and put them in increasingly bizarre and dangerous scenarios.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of my work is really infused with kind of my love of video games and pop culture and things like that. So it's also always fun for me to come up with what Easter eggs I'm going to be hiding throughout the books for people to find, and kind of what source material I'm riffing off of for what I'm working on. So that's always the joy of it for me, is sort of writing towards those moments that I anticipate that certain readers are going to go, oh, I know what that is. I know what she's doing with that. Um, and also just again, continuing the kind of lives and journeys of these characters that I've been with for so long. So it's that combo of the novelty of taking them to new places, but also the familiarity of really knowing these characters for as long as I have.
And that's got to be a lot for from your side of things, because I'm starting something
Mhm,
kind of brand new, but it's historical fiction.
mhm,
Not at all. But you're working on something that is pre-established.
mhm.
You've worked on these two previous novels before. Did now you've already written a sequel for
Chilling effect, yeah.
yeah, for Chilling Effect. You've already written a sequel to Chilling Effect, and now you're writing a third one.
Mhm.
Does this um do you feel like there were any challenges for you working on like just a third novel in a series?
Oh yeah, I mean, every series has its own specific challenges, I think, but the kind of general challenge of working on a series is how do you raise the stakes? How do you introduce again new things, things that are fresh, that are not a rehash of what you've already done, that allow you to take the characters to different places and take the readers to those different places as well, so that it doesn't feel like you're just retreading familiar territory and going over the same things over and over again. So that's sort of the real challenge there is when you have characters that are coming along this journey. Typically people expect that the characters will grow and change, and I think it's good for that because I think people grow and change. But it also is difficult to establish kinds of changes without making it feel forced. You want
Yeah.
them to have kind of a very natural trajectory over whatever their life path is. And you also want to stress test them a little bit and see how they act and react in different situations, because I think that's also part of life is you don't necessarily know how you're going to be as a person in different scenarios until it happens to you. And that's sort of part of the joy too of working in a trilogy. But the challenge is, again, it's how do you raise the stakes without it feeling too artificial, too overblown, or without rehashing stuff that you've already done before, because you do want it to be new and you want it to be interesting, and you want it to be surprising.
That is, I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
So what next, I guess, is
Yes, yes. So what do we have next now that we've written most of a novel at this point?
Yep. So, okay, this is the part where now I'm gonna like talk a lot because
Yeah.
I have all of the answers for you. I don't have all of the answers, but I have some. So as we've been discussing, the first thing you do is celebrate. Yay, you did it! Because yes, it's awesome. Even if you didn't win,
Mhm.
you committed to a project and you worked hard on it and you did your best, and that's amazing and that's so great. And so anyone who tried to do nano, even if you didn't get to 50K, I think that it's really important to just celebrate that, celebrate the process, celebrate the attempt, celebrate that you did it, you know what I'm saying? And for the people who did win, then also you celebrate the fact that you did it, you won, you took on this huge challenge, really difficult, and you did it. You got to the end, or in the case of some of us, you did not finish it, but you did get the 50,000 words. So celebration, I think, is the first order of the day. And then, as previously stated, you catch up on all the stuff that you have been sort of quietly shoving under the rug over the course of the month. Now is the time that you must do those things that you've been putting off. So certainly, my house is going to get a lot cleaner very, very quickly, very spick and span. Another thing that you can do is if you did win, you can claim your winner goodies on the website. There are instructions on there. I've reposted them in the Discord if you join that, but there you can find them on the forums. You can find them on the Nano Help page if necessary. But there are instructions if you have not figured out how to do it yourself for how to claim your winner goodies, which usually includes a certificate that you can print out if you want to say that you have won. You can also buy a winner T-shirt. This is my winner T-shirt from 2014. I do not have the one from this year yet, but you can also use some of the coupon codes that they have for a lot of different products, including Scrivener, which is a writing tool that a lot of folks use. It is really a cool, robust program that you can type in as a word processor, but it also has stuff like a virtual corkboard that you can use to make notes to yourself, basically on like little note cards. It has some capabilities that are kind of like a wiki where you can hyperlink things within the document. You can break things up into different scenes or chapters and then have it output a compiled version that is all one file. It's a very robust program, and it's one that a lot of folks use. And so one of the perks of Nano is that you get a 50% off coupon for that. So I'm not here to shill for them necessarily, but because it is a tool a lot of people do like and use, and of course the cat has arrived, it may be something that you want to look into. But there are a lot of other great writing tools that are available. There are editing tools as well. There are different subscription services that you can look into. And so all of that is available on the winner goodies page if you want to do that. And so that is one thing you can do. We also have a TGIO party. Thank goodness it's over, which some folks also call the oh, I forgot what already. It's the I think the happy ending party or something like
Oh,
that.
fun.
Yeah, And so that's on Saturday at 7 in the Discord if you feel like joining us for that. But you can also celebrate online on the forums, on Twitter, on whatever other social media you want with all of the other people who did this. Because again, celebrate, enjoy, revel in it. And then once that's done, you have to decide, you personally and me
Yes.
and other people, what do you want to do with your novel? And that is a very personal choice, because for some of us the answer is first finish it. So because if it's not done, then finishing it is one of the most obvious things that you can do from here. You can throw it in a drawer and never look at it again. You can revise it. You can share it with your friends and family. You can decide that you want to maybe eventually publish it, whether you do self or indie publishing or traditional publishing. Basically, it's up to you. There are a lot of options. There are a lot of paths that you can take. They're all perfectly valid, and it's entirely contingent on what your goals are and what you feel like doing with this. Do you have any thoughts about what you want to do besides finish yours?
I definitely want to finish it. I have no idea if I am interested in publishing it yet. Once I finish it, though, I am being required by my coworkers here at the library that they have to read it so that they can help me edit it. So I definitely want to go through the editing process and
Mm.
like get a bunch of people to start reading it and maybe get some help
Yeah.
because as a first time novelist, it is a lot and I'm gonna need help.
Yeah, so alpha and beta readers are definitely a good option. Alpha readers are people who are typically going to be either reading along as you write, or they read your first draft as soon as it's finished. And the goal of the alpha reader is to be a cheerleader and to be encouraging, not to provide criticism, because that would not help. That's not fun. But the alpha readers are basically there to encourage you, to get you hyped, to make you want to keep working on the project, whether that be to complete it if you're giving it to them as you go, or to revise it after you've finished and you're just throwing the messy first draft at them. And so alpha readers are one option. Beta readers, typically you're going to give the story to them after you've tried to revise it yourself and you have sort of done the best that you can with your own inner resources and abilities and skills. And then you give it to someone else to get sort of a second pair of eyes on it to figure out, okay, what am I missing? And those folks, the beta readers, are typically going to be the ones to give you more constructive criticism and feedback versus just encouragement and cheerleading and trying to keep you going. And so those are definitely two of the options that you can take after you have completed the novel. Or again, if you want to do alpha readers, you could do it as you go. That's fine too. So there you go. You have one, people who are eagerly awaiting.
I, I I do. I've already had to try and like push them away with a 6 foot pole to try and tell them, no, no, you can't read it yet. I still have to finish the story.
and that's fine. Again,
Yeah.
whatever you're comfortable with, and I'm speaking to the general you, not just you specifically, of course. Yes, everybody out there in the virtual lands, it is whatever you want to do. And so the choices that you make, just try to envision yourself. What is it that you want to get out of this? And if it's just that you want to have done it and now it's done and that's fine, you move on, that's totally cool. But if you want to keep going, there are, again, many valid paths for you. In terms of revision and just other kinds of exercises, what's cool is that NaNoWriMo has a now what page. It will be updated again in January, I believe, but it does have some ideas on what you can do now that the month is over. It also has a workbook with advice, exercises, and structure for you to tackle your revision. So there is guidance available for you on the NaNoWriMo website for that. And as previously noted, we also in our region have year-round write-ins. So you can come back anytime to the Discord, or eventually, hopefully, we'll have virtual in live events again, in-person events as opposed to just virtual ones. And so at that point, you can get back together with people in the community, write with them, talk to them about what you're working on. And the forums on NaNoWriMo are also available year-round, and they have a lot of post nano revision support and help there as well. And of course, there are different social media, the Nano Twitter account, Instagram, things like that, that they also have things that go on year round to kind of support you.
I do love that. The Nano website has been very, very helpful to me over the last month, because I've kept it up on my laptop, and it's been very, very encouraging, because I personally have issues when it comes to setting goals for myself. But when I started up on NaNoWriMo, it was like they had set up that goal for me. And so with the whole revision and everything that is available help on Nano, that really helps me. That really helps the general you. It really helps you, keep your mind focused on the project. It really helps you get the help that you need to clean up your work and really, really move it along. And I love that is a resource that is available to people.
Oh yeah, and now Nano, what they have is you have the ability to make as many projects as you want all year round, and you can give yourself your own deadlines. And so you can have something that has a deadline of, instead of just 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever works for you. And you can also, outside of the context of NaNoWriMo, you can have projects wherein you set, instead of the number of words that you want to have, you can set a page count goal. You can set an hour or minute count goal. And so that can be used as well for revision purposes. There are also other events throughout the year if you want to try other stuff. There's National Poetry Writing Month. Yes, and so you can write poetry during that time period. On the Nano website, you can track lines that way, and so you can say you want to write a certain number of lines a month. There are also, you can do Camp NaNoWriMo in April and July, and so those two events, you also set up your own project, whatever it is that you want it to be. I often use April as either the time when I finish the novel finally that I started in November, or when I'm revising it. And so I love Camp NaNoWriMo for that purpose. And you can, again, set your own goal. If you can set a shorter word goal so that you're not writing 50,000 words, but maybe you're only writing 10,000, 20,000, or you can set a number of pages that you're trying to work on. That's good for screenplays if you want to try that. Yeah. And again, you can work on poetry, you can work on revision, you can work on whatever you want. I believe there's also, since you can do hours and minutes, some people use it to do art projects or crafts of some kind. And so it's a very kind of robust ecosystem that you can use for your own purposes throughout the year. You can also find different kinds of classes and workshops if you want to pursue education on writing stuff. Those are available online all over the place, and there's a lot of different kind of places that I recommend for that. But different libraries even will do different classes that you can attend, and yeah, there's a lot of virtual events now that are really accessible to everyone, which is great.
I didn't realize that with the NaNoWriMo website that you can still set your own goals. Like I remember I had set up that I was going to do the novel, but I guess it never really clicked in my head that it was something that you could do just whenever.
Oh, yeah, that didn't used to be the case. It is a new feature. I think that came in last year, I want to say, to the website redesign. But it is something that's available now. And so if you feel like using it, you can. You can also make your own kind of word count trackers. And there are a lot of folks online. If you Google that, you can find just different project trackers that you can use if you're an Excel type person, which I am. And so I often have that for myself. And some of them are really fancy and will do kind of the same nano output of a stats graph and all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely, there are a lot of resources out there for you. And so now's the time to start making use of them now that Nano's through.
Right? Oh goodness, that is a lot of resources. That gives us a lot of ways to not only encourage us to keep writing, keep working, revise what we have, and on and get us to the point where we could start to edit even more, or even start looking into the publication process, which is a whole other bag of potatoes. But,
oh yes.
Which I'm sure you know.
Yeah, it is, and it is a long and slow path depending on which approach that you want to take. Indie publishing certainly is a much faster track for you as a general rule, but that can also be slow and steady. And so again, it's all about what you want to do, what goals you want to set for yourself, how you want to approach it, and just the sky's the limit.
So the next goal that we need to set definitely is setting the next goal. And it's just check mark after check mark. What's the next goal? Set the next goal. All
Yep,
right.
exactly.
But I feel ready now. And I really I'm still coming off of the high of finishing the 50,000 words, but it's been an amazing process, and I've really been able to push a lot of things out of like my brain that I didn't know were there. And that it was an amazing, amazing feeling that this whole challenge was able to bring about. And I hope that after you said 17 years of doing this, that it's still happening for you, that you still get to have those highs from this, and
Mhm.
that you still feel so excited about what you do.
Yeah. I mean, nano is certainly not an easy thing to attempt.
No.
I mean, let's not, pretend that you can just kind of roll out of bed and it just comes out no problem, easy peasy every single day. But I think, yeah, the excitement is always still there, the fun of it. I try to keep it fun for myself and just try to have something to look forward to every day as I'm working so that it doesn't feel like a slog. And those moments where you figure something out, like one of the toughest problems that I hit over the course of the month, because I'm a very, very big plotter and I always have pretty thorough outlines going in, but still there were a couple of times where I hit a point where I had written down what happened but not how, and so I had to sit down and figure out the logistics and the choreography and the actual construction of whatever it was that was going to happen, because I had not explained it. It was as if I had said, and now here you will build a house, but there were absolutely no plans for the house whatsoever. And so I had to sit and form that for myself. And those were the hard days, the days where I thought I knew what I was doing and oops, no, I had to really kind of think it through. But at the same time, those are opportunities for improvisation and for surprising yourself. And when you have those moments where not only do you surprise yourself, but you figure out a really kind of tough problem, you unravel a really tough knot, and you have an idea that you just know is right. It's like a puzzle piece that has fit perfectly in the place that it needs to be. Those are such satisfying moments, and it's something that happens with every new story that I work on, and so that never, ever, ever gets old.
I completely understand. It is a very, very satisfying moment when you get that just little click in your head, and things start to come together, and it's been wonderful. And I understand. I do understand. This is, if I've made it seem like it's easy this entire month, it is not. I've traveled to Michigan during this month. I had a guest in my house during Thanksgiving. And there were days when I was sitting down in like the back room of my house, which is also just a storage room. And so I'm sitting there surrounded by totes and boxes, and I can hear my fiance watching Star Trek in the living room, and I'm over here like, oh, I could be out there, but no, I need to keep writing, and I just have to force myself to keep going. And
Mhm.
it's not easy because you want to push yourself, but there's other things happening, and you have to get rid of those. It's hard to get rid of those distractions, but if you can do that, then I think you're like, what would you say, 25% of the way there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that for most people, that's one of the hardest parts of NaNoWriMo is eliminating those distractions. And some of them you really can't get rid of. I mean, there were many times where I'd be running sprints during the day, and we have a bot that kind of controls that on the Discord. And so the bot, you input how many minutes you want to sprint, and it will announce when the sprint begins, it will announce when the sprint ends, and it will ask you how many words you've written. And there were many times where it would say, how many words did you write? And I would say 0 because I was chasing a toddler. And so
Yeah.
it is a thing that happens. Life definitely gets in the way, and some things you can push aside and some things you cannot. And so, it's the ones that are sort of the non-essential but very attractive things, like watching Star Trek or playing a video game or reading a book, that can be some of the hardest to overcome over the course of the month. And so I return to what I said earlier, which is that if you can do it in November, you can do it anytime. Because honestly, this is a really long project. It's a really difficult project. It's a very dense kind of project where you have to do just so much in so little time. But if you want to write, and if you want to be a writer of short fiction, novels, poems, scripts, whatever it is that you want to work on, you can sort of take the lessons that you learned in this month and apply them to the rest of the year in a much more leisurely pace. And I think that is a valuable thing to experience. There are people who will tell you you must write every day to be a writer, and I disagree with them, because you don't have to write every day. You just have to write at your own pace in a regular fashion, and have some sort of habit of it, whether that is a daily habit, a weekly habit, or even a monthly habit. But it's about making a commitment to yourself and having goals, setting those goals, acknowledging them, and respecting them, and and just committing to them and getting them done. And so again, if you succeeded in this project, or even if you just you didn't make it all the way, but you tried, that's something, and you can carry that through to the rest of the year.
That is an amazing sentiment, which I completely agree with. This has been an amazing experience, and I've really been excited about everything that I've done. And once again, I really appreciate that you've kind of brought me into this world of NaNoWriMo. And I really do hope to continue. I don't hope, I will continue on with my personal project. And if there are people out there who do not, who maybe haven't finished with, haven't won the NaNoWriMo, that doesn't mean that they have to be done with what they've written. And our conversation today has, I think, been a good example of, it may be difficult, but making those goals for yourself, pushing it through, and continuing on, getting through those distractions and pushing through is an amazing thing to do. And even like you said, building that habit is gonna be helpful, whether it's a daily thing or not.
Yeah.
And so this has been absolutely wonderful, and I really appreciate that you've gone on this journey with me.
Oh, we were happy to have you, and happy to have everyone else who is coming along for this project. And it's never too late. Every day you can commit yourself to trying again. So today's December 1st, and if I don't know when you're going to be seeing this, but whatever you do, you can start today. There's nothing stopping you.
This video will be out tomorrow we're going to say today, Wednesday, the 2nd of September.
But yeah, every day is a new opportunity to start something. And so,
Right.
You don't have to wait. You can start prepping now if that helps, and you can start working on the thing now, and you just do what you want to do.
Right. Once again, I really want to thank you, Valerie. I appreciate all the time that you've come here. You introduced this place, this NaNoWriMo world to me, and to a bunch of our viewers. Hi, viewers. You have given us a pep talk in the middle of the month when you could have been writing and I could have been writing, and I really appreciate that. And now you're here talking with me about how this is gone, and you could still be writing, or maybe I could be dealing with that pile of dishes at home that really need to get done.
Oh yeah.
But I want to, once again, like I said, I thank you, and I hope that the people who have been following along and have been doing this NaNoWriMo as well have found their own success in this, whether they've completed it or not. this has been a fun and really exciting journey, and we will keep writing, and hopefully I can do this again next year with the library. And I would love to bring you back, or if you can suggest someone else, if you're completely sick of me
Oh,
by this point, then this would be so much fun. I am very, very excited for what the future holds for the literary world and what everyone here has written.
Yep. It's again, it's an ongoing event. It's going to keep coming back, and even if someday Nano disappears into the ether, there's nothing to stop you from doing your own Nano at any time, with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers, your colleagues, whoever it is that you have in your kind of circle of other writers, people who want to do a big project and go on an adventure like this. So.
Of course, and when the evil dictator takes over the entire world and we're in mass hysteria, we will still be writing.
Yes.
We will still be writing. We'll make it through, just to let our voices be heard in the world. And thank you for joining me today, Valerie. I really appreciate it. If our viewers or patrons are watching this and they have been working on the NaNoWriMo challenge, please, I really encourage you to write down in the comments below about your experience. I would love to hear about them, or come into the library and yell at me about how awful this whole experience has been for you. And I'm really excited to hear about it, or how successful.
Yeah, and on the Nano website, again, stay tuned for the Now What months, in which Nano will have kind of events that they run to allow you to share your project with others, and just talk about it publicly, and get hyped about it again, because you may be feeling a little kind of hungover right now in terms of all that you've accomplished, but there's still more to be done, and you can continue celebrating it with other people.
Yes. Well, Valerie, thank you once again so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to hear again from you. And I'm going to keep up on your website to find out when this novel is going to be ready, because I'm really excited to read this next one.
Well, it's due in May, so
Yeah.
that's my deadline. So that's when I have to have it turned in. But it should be coming out in 2022.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much, Valerie. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too, and thank you again for having me.